Hi Cancer, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign, Cancer, this is for you. Remember, they're general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. Always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your excuse me, key to the week, this week you have the Tower. Okay, so there are going to be some thrills and spills and some shocks and some moments this week, right? In all of these different areas, do expect some disruption and some upheaval. It's just kind of like the way of the land, the lay of the land over the course of this week. But remember, this card's opposite in the zodiac ends up being the Chariot, which means you have a chance to overcome or to find some form of personal victory or success. But it is going to require you seeing things exactly as they are, as opposed to how you would like them to be, right? I think the rose tinted glasses this week are coming off, and maybe our tushy hits the ground with a bit of a bump. Let's have a look what the cards have in store. And before anyone gets in on their high horse about like whinging and whining, remember I have a Cancer moon, so get the fuck over it. All right, for your it's just like offended half of my viewership. For your actions and options this week, you've got the high priest, right? So this is actually the Hierophant. That's first and foremost, this is an interruption, right? So tarot is giving us a very big message, a very loud message to tell us some big or large institution. My feeling on this is that it's going to be a corporate company. I don't think it will be like a government or whatever, but I think a big corporate company is about to go bust, or is about to, say, look, you know what, we're bankrupt, and there's going to be someone that needs to step in either to purchase them or to whatever. So on the wider world stage, I think we're about to see a big company, a big name go belly up in some way. The other thing that I will say, I've got a question for you, actually. Let me know in the comments. Would you guys like me to start doing world event predictions? I hazard to say this, but I've hit a fair few of them on the head, and especially within the last 2 to 3 years. A lot of people have said to me, like, your world stuff is it something that you would like to see? I'll ask all the other signs as well and see what they say. Now, on a more personal level, the Hierophant card is your personal routines and rituals, and because you've got this as your actions, the things that are well established in your world, the things that you would consider very much a part of your sort of daily, routine experience, may be going through a massive shake-up of some sort this week. So just be prepared for that. And it may very well be, for some of you, maybe this is a crisis of faith. That is also very possible with this combination of cards as well. Now, in terms of the opportunities that are available to you, this could be that an opportunity from a bigger or a larger institution of some sort comes to you, right? So you could get an invite of some kind that you're kind of like, whoa, this is a big deal, but it kind of throws you for a loop. For your communications and conversations, you have the Standing Stone. So in this deck, this is the Justice card. And so, this is some kind of shock commitment, or potentially some kind of dissolution of a commitment of some kind. When it comes to the Justice card, remember, this is where we sign on the dotted line. It's where we have to, in some regard, kind of, this is where you have to ante up. Right? For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, one way that this potentially shows up for you is that the institution that you're studying with goes through a massive upheaval of some sort. I'm talking strikes, protests, all of that kind of stuff. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could also show up for you in that way as well. It's very possible. Another way that this might also show up, though, is that you get a tap on the shoulder or an invite of some sort where you're kind of like, whoa, I didn't realize that this was a possibility for me, or maybe you're just aware like that you're getting an invite of sorts that isn't, you know, just for everybody. I do have to say it's the Justice card, so just being mindful that this will be a large commitment. And if you're a business owner, you could be finding that there's some way that you're attached to, or maybe getting an invite from a bigger or a larger institution to partner up in some way, which is great. As long as you retain your own identity, there's no problem with that sort of thing, all right? And then for those of you that are retired and no longer working, this could be that you're suddenly having to, and I'm really sorry to say this, but you might have to scramble at the last minute when you realise that something that you thought was in place, let's say you thought you had your insurance all sorted, and then you realise very quickly, maybe you're reading through the fine print, or maybe a policy term of something changes, and then all of a sudden you find yourself like, holy shit, I need to fix this, and I need to fix it now. For your love and relations, you've got the Knight of Pentacles. So usually this will show up as a vehicle, right? So do keep an eye on that, especially with the Tower card. For those of you that are driving, etc., taking road trips, this would be a week to be extra careful. If you've got a loved one or a partner going on a road trip of some sort as well, or they have a car that you've been kind of a bit dubious about for a while, this would be the week to fix it, right? Don't take no for an answer. That's as much as I will say. When it comes to those of you that are single and looking, it's likely to be on a road trip or a journey of some sort like that you could connect with somebody. And it may also be somebody that is either overseas, somebody that's maybe not necessarily overseas, but somebody that is from overseas but happens to be like, you know, they're a transplant and they've been there for a good while. And then finally, for your money and materials, you've got the Four of Cups. So this card can sometimes suggest that what you need is making its way to you. Because you've got it with the Tower card, though, there's some kind of financial disruption that you either don't expect. For me personally, I think it's something to do with the documents that the Justice card are attached to. And with the other thing as well, so this the interruption that I talked about earlier, I do think it will be a bigger corporation. And I don't see them dissolving. I actually think they'll probably get bought out. It's just a feeling I have. And then when it comes to your physical health and vitality, especially this with the Tower card, this is not a week to overindulge, right? Whether it's with food or with alcohol, this is not the week to overindulge, all right? Whatever that means to you. Another way that I would say this as well, if you are a big drinker, it could go further this week than ever, and you may end up saying and therefore end up hearing something that you really don't expect or really don't like. So keep that as a consideration. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, this may be news that comes in that is less than welcome, but will need to be dealt with immediately. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.